Hello everyone. 2020 has been a most unusual year, quite traumatic for some families. During the year I've reflected on our talking newspaper, the method of carrying out various tasks and how they've changed down the years, and I would like to take a few seconds to mention the background of the newspaper. It was first produced in 1976 by the Lisburn Leos, a junior group of the Lisburn Lions International, as a project to assist those who were visually impaired in the area. For approximately 2 years before the launch, these teens and early 20s fundraised by holding cake sales, second-hand clothes sales at the local market, held barbecues, a chartered ball, and raised a phenomenal amount, approximately £1,800. This was used to buy a National Panasonic tape recorder and a woolen sack tape copier, both of which were fairly unique in Northern Ireland in 1976. Initially, the recording was carried out in a redundant cottage hospital in Castle Street, and I'm told there were a few occasions worthy of mention, like the night the group were using one of the old theatres when they spied an object attached to the ceiling. Wondering what this was, one of them climbed up the furniture and held his cigarette lighter to illuminate the curious thing. It turned out to be a fire alarm sensor and was working perfectly and roused the local inhabitants when it went off. Initially, the recordings were hand-delivered. One lady was involved in the early days, told me that she and her husband went around some of the recipients on their bicycle, handing out the tapes and inquiring after the well-being of the listeners. In the early 2000s, we were joined by a group of ladies from the Lisburn Seroptimus Club, who added extra administrators and readers to our small group of talent. By the early noughties, digital equipment was much more available, and as a result of a grant from the Department of Communities, we upgraded our equipment from tape-based to compact disc-based, complete with CD copier. Then came 2020, lockdown restrictions of movement, and for a few weeks we were unable to provide any local news to our listenership. Then we discovered a service offered by the British Wireless for the Blind Fund, BWBF, who provided a facility where we could circulate our recordings to smartphones, tablets, laptops or desktop computers using their app. I'll briefly go through the current process of recording. Our readers, without whom we could not exist, receive a request to read certain articles from the Ulster Star. The reader records the article on their smartphone at home and emails the audio recording to the organiser. The organiser then checks through the recording for extraneous noises, etc., and prepares the total recordings for upload. After the recordings have been assembled, they are uploaded to the BWBF server. Our listeners who have downloaded the BWBF app to their smartphones, etc., bring up the app on their phones. They then listen to the melodic voices of our readers, keeping them up to date with local events in their area.